By now, you've completed the phase pull planning. Your team has identified the natural milestones or target conditions of the project and the tasks that accomplish each of them. What's next? Well, roll up your sleeves for the 6-week look ahead, where a lot of the hard work gets done. In the 6-week look ahead, you'll assign a specific duration to each phase of work and lay them out on weekly planning boards, allotting for every workday in a week. You'll identify and flag constraints, discuss handoffs of work and conditions of satisfaction, and mark target conditions. This is the stage where teams make a commitment, a promise, to complete a set of tasks each week based on realistic projections. It's where they plan how they'll make work ready for each other, where the accountability of the project becomes real for everyone. Rich Seiler of Unified Works explains the 6-week look-ahead process and how it works.
So remember I talked about the phase pull plan essentially being a blank slate or a blank 40-foot trailer, and that we were loading our work into the trailer, and to what fashion did we have to put our work in there. This helps people get their head around the fact that the work that we need last goes into the nose of the trailer, and as we fill that trailer up, imagine you were loading that trailer with equipment or materials to take to a job. When we open the door, the first work that we can grab is the work that we need now. That's how we begin our 6-week look ahead. A 6-week look ahead is essentially the work we can do or the work we think we can do based on the current conditions of the project. So that's what we're telling the people involved, is to make sure that you understand this is work that you can do. Okay? The work is broken down into more specific detail in the phase pull, which is more general. So the 6-week look ahead, now we're asking teams to get involved in a little more specific daily plan for what they're doing on a 6-week basis. So you'll see 6 boards with 6 days on each board, and every day represents a crew day. Each team with their own color grabs a particular swim lane and they lay their work out for a cycle of work or a value stream, if you will. For instance, they will start a process, they'll turn their tag to the left, as you can see, and then they'll do their work and they'll turn their tag to the right when they're done with their value stream or their cycle of work. That indicates to the next trade that they can go ahead and go. So this is how we continue to validate. Is the work flowing? Is the sequence correct? Are we doing the work in the right process? While we're doing that, we're also strongly looking at constraints. A constraint is something that will interrupt our flow of work and cannot be solved in this room. So we're trying to create an atmosphere of problem solving as we lay out the work. These boards are highly visual, and we look for these boards to be neat, the tags to be put up plumb and square, and for the team to start to really believe that we're building this project on these boards before we actually go out into the field and build it. So it's very important that we take this seriously. We also ask the team to do let's call it a gut check or a checklist on all the resources that they need in order to do their project or to do their scope of work. And so we boiled this down to an acronym called TIMES, T-I-M-M-E-S-S. TIME stands for Tools, Information, Material, Manpower, Equipment, Safety, and Space. So the theory is if you have all your resources that are necessary, you can continue to do your work uninterrupted and create a great flow. If you're missing one of those resources, you will have a constraint that most definitely will interrupt your workflow. For instance, project teams often talk about information that they're waiting for in order to do their work. Sometimes they're waiting for materials, sometimes they're waiting for manpower. So we're asking teams to be proactive in how they identify their resources and or their constraints. As we continue to flow through the handoffs of work to make work ready and reliable for the next trade, we're also paying attention to eliminating waste from the process. Remember, we're talking about getting rid of defects, overproduction, waiting, non-utilization of resources, transportation, inventory, motion, excess processing. All these things are under constant examination so that we can make incremental improvements. The communication amongst the trades starts to rise. The conversations that we have between the trades are truly the magic of the 6-week look-ahead process. And what happens in the end, as the team begins to trust the process, we end up with a very reliable 6 weeks worth of work, which allows people to plan much better, and they start to really feel comfortable that this is a very good process.
This granular breakdown of the work tasks is the core basis for the 6-week look ahead. Combined with honest, respectful communications between the trades and the leadership by the GC or facilitator, this intensified project review presents the team with a reliable view of the work ahead of them. Through repeated analysis of what we plan, do, check, and adjust, the look ahead presents opportunities to eliminate waste and add value to the overall process. The 6-week look ahead provides a more detailed view of your project's tasks by visualizing the project workflow, identifying deliveries and inspections, uncovering and removing constraints that block work from being completed as scheduled, ensuring reliable handoffs of work, creating teamwork, camaraderie, and accountability for the project's success.
A successful 6-week look ahead starts with having the right tools, and those tools are your boards, your constraint log, your parking lot, your stickies, your markers, all your tags. It's very important to have the right tools, just as it's important to have the right tools to do put work in place. Is just as important. We also need to have all the right people in the room. Everybody that's going to be providing work or information for that 6-week period has to be in the room, and as you continue to advance and bring new trades on, the same rules apply. If you can get owner representation in the room, if you can get designer representation or any other people, equipment providers, that's all helpful. The more people that we could collaborate and integrate, the better we are. The benefits of this type of process is you have a very high level of collaboration and, more importantly, some very honest conversations that are important. We're identifying the good as well as the bad, and in the end what we end up with is a well-planned project that's tracking, that allows people to plan their resources in a much more efficient manner.
We see things differently. If you'd like more information about the Last Planner system, contact us at 224-325-9130.